Why is it like this? Is it all because of the power of big pharma to line its own pockets and get people to go along with it?
Pharma controls the narrative. They've captured the big health agencies. They've created this culture. First of all, it's very hard to do research unless big pharma is paying for it or the NIH has a designated center. So who at the NIH is interested in the fact that sperm counts have gone down 50% in the last 5 decades, or that the average age of puberty is going down each year, or that kids feel sick more and more, that autoimmune diseases are going up, that attention deficit disorder is now epidemic, or 40% of our kids will have a mental health diagnosis? Who at the NIH is going to study the microbiome, pesticides, heavy metals, the poison food supply, these food additives that are engineered to be addictive? So when you eat them, your appetite increases, even though you kind of feel full. And what's happening is all these foreign molecules, these chemicals that are now rampant, including the derivatives of seed oils, they go down the GI tract, which has a lymphatic system, an immune system in the wall of the intestine. And it's not reacting to these foreign molecules and chemicals with a sudden reaction. It's reacting with a low-level immune fighting of this stuff. And it makes you feel blah, makes you feel sick and sad sometimes. And what are we doing? We have told doctors, you only have your medications to do and your operations to do. We haven't given doctors the time or resources or research funding to deal with the root causes. And so they've lived in these blind spots. We never talk about them. We never talk about these issues at the top medical centers. Trust me, I've gone as far as you can go in academic medicine. All the accolades and tenure, and no one is talking about the biggest issues in health because of these blind spots. I think we've got good people working in a bad system where the culture has said, put your head down, do your job, you'll be rewarded. You'll make back all this debt that you got in medical school. By the way, we take these highly creative students out of college. They want to save the world, have big ideas. They're altruistic. Heck, 90% of our applicants want to do medical missions, if not full-time, part-time as a side of their practice. And we take these bright, creative young folks and we beat them down with this old guard dinosaur curriculum. Memorize and regurgitate. Memorize these thousands of drugs and learn to get an eye, a hawk eye for when you can use them. And, oh, there's an indication. Here you go. There's an indication. Here you go. We put them on this treadmill where they have 10-minute visits, 15-minute visits, and they're just diagnosing and treating and doling out diagnoses and meds. We've done a terrible thing to these doctors, to these young folks.
It's depressing. Like, I went to my eye doctor the other day, and the eye doctor's great, but I could see the schedule, like I needed a follow-up, and I could see they pulled up the schedule. I mean, this person was double booked every day, all day, for every 10-minute interval for weeks. I thought, how much care can they be giving each of these patients?
It's a crazy hamster wheel, and I was on it, and I got off of it. I said, I'm going to focus on my passion, which is public health research. I had a degree in public health in medical school that I got basically walked away from medicine after 3 years of medical school, disillusioned. This isn't for me. What are we doing? And I enrolled in graduate school for public health. I ended up coming back to medicine. I miss the bedside care, and I love being a surgeon. But after being on this treadmill that everybody gets on, I said, no more dangling bonuses at the end of the year. I don't care what my throughput is. The system is designed for throughput and billing and coding. Why do you think we have 35% of doctors burn out? And doctors are one of the highest professions for suicide. We're doing a terrible thing to these people. And a lot of doctors now are rejecting it. They're saying, we're not going to have anything to do with this. Half of my students at Johns Hopkins don't want to have anything to do with this crazy broken system. They don't care about the big pay and the house in the suburb. They want to be a part of something bigger. They want to deal with the root causes. They want to start businesses. They're entrepreneurial. They're getting second degrees. They want to spend time in a Medicare Advantage model where basically they get paid on a lump sum for a population. They can spend an hour and talk about the sleep quality of a person that affects their blood pressure, not just doling out antihypertensives. Maybe we need to talk about school lunch programs instead of putting every kid on Ozempic. Maybe we need to talk about treating diabetes with cooking classes instead of throwing insulin at people. Maybe we need to talk about environmental exposures that cause cancer, not just the chemotherapy to treat it. We're going backwards. We're watching all of these chronic diseases consume our culture, and we've got to get off this myopic focus. So luckily, good stuff is happening. A lot of doctors are speaking up. They're getting off the treadmill. They're spending time with patients. They're coming up with their own models for care, financial models. And a bunch of us docs are going directly to the public to educate them about health.
Yes, it's so revolutionary, and it's brave because these are very big, powerful forces that have a financial interest, frankly, in keeping us sick, who don't really want to see this. The nutrition aspect of it is huge, and it's almost never discussed at a medical visit. You know, they might say you're obese, you're overweight, you need to lose weight, but actually, you know, the stuff about, you know, we talked before the show about Casey Means and her new book, the stuff about, you know, seed oils that you mentioned, the stuff about preservatives and the toxins in our food, you know, the poisoning of the food supplies you point out, all this, you know, herbicide or whatever, insecticide all over our fruit and our vegetables that some people don't even know to really seriously wash off, never mind not buy if you can. Not to mention microplastics in the air and the water and our furniture, and then the, you know, fire repellents on our rugs. And I mean, it's just a toxic world. A lot of people don't even know about it. And frankly, just me listing it, they're like, I can't, I'm out. I got other things to deal with. I can't deal with all that.
Like, a bunch of us are trying to give a different perspective than the perspective the food industry and big ag and pharma have been putting in front of people for a long time. Telling doctors, no, you don't need to look into arsenic levels in the water. The EPA says you can have up to 10 micrograms per liter of arsenic in your water. Where did they come up with that number from?
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that.
I mean, they're making stuff up. I mean, this is where we get into trouble. This is why distrust goes down in the establishment. So you draw the blood of a baby today through the umbilical cord, and there's 287 forever compounds. How about research on those compounds? How about research on the seed oil derivatives? How about research on the pesticides that have hormone effects in children, which may explain the declining fertility and lowering age of puberty, instead of research on bat coronaviruses in Wuhan and Japanese quail that they give cocaine to and they watch their sexual activity. These are real studies funded by the government. So we have had terrible leaders in the medical establishment. And so a bunch of us, Peter Attia, Casey and Kelly Means, Vinay Prasad, Zubin Damani, we feel like now we're going to go directly to the public and educate them about the real story on health, because there is a huge body of literature on all these topics you talk about, from microplastics to the microbiome, and people need to know about it so they can make better choices every day.
Do you owe back taxes or have unfiled returns? Along with hiring tens of thousands of new agents and field officers, the IRS has been sending over 5 million pay-up letters to those who have unfiled tax returns or balances owed. Don't waive your rights and speak with these guys on your own. Instead, Tax Network USA, a trusted tax relief firm, has saved more than $1 billion in back taxes for their clients, and they might help to secure you the best deal possible. Whether you owe $10,000 or $10 million, they can help you. Whether it's business or personal taxes, even if you have the means to pay, or if you're on a fixed income, they can help you. Finally resolve your tax burdens once and for all. Call these guys at 1-800-958-1000 or visit tnusa.com/Megyn. Don't let the IRS control your life. Empower yourself with Tax Network USA's support and take charge of your financial future. tnusa.com/MEGYN. Visit there today. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.